While the streamers have sunk a few battleships at the traditional studios, one area where they're struggling is in creating new franchises. The old-school studios have Marvel and Fast and Furious and the Minions in their stables, but the streamers have struggled to get new franchises off the ground. Netflix has struggled to turn Stranger Things into a cinematic universe. Stranger Things itself ran out of steam years ago, so there's very little hope for the spin-offs, and the K-pop Demon Hunters sequel won't arrive until 2029. Paramount has the Yellowstone universe, Apple has the For All Mankind universe, and Peacock has the Ted universe, soon to be expanded with an animated series. But arguably the most lucrative streamer in terms of franchises, the envy of every Tom, Dick, and Harry fighting in the trenches of the streaming wars, is Prime Video. Amazon has become the home of Dad TV with shows like Bosch and Reacher and Jack Ryan, and it spun them all off into sequels and spin-offs. Amazon spent $1 billion bringing Middle-earth to the small screen in the Rings of Power, and it even has the rights to James Bond. But none of these franchises are the flagship franchise in Prime's library. That distinction goes to The Boys, a brutal, bloody superhero spoof that started off as a satire of Marvel and DC's world-building and eventually became one of their most successful imitators. Each show in Prime Video's The Boys universe explained. Based on Garth Ennis' comic book series of the same name, The Boys takes place in a Marvel/DC-style superhero universe, except the superheroes aren't positive role models using their powers for good, they're more like the most powerful people in the real world, evil, depraved, and guilty of unspeakable acts. The Boys are a vigilante squad determined to kill all the world's superheroes. While The Boys' quest to wipe out all supes has always been the backbone of the main saga, Amazon has started expanding the universe to include prequels and spin-offs. First came Diabolical, an animated anthology series telling a bunch of self-contained stories in The Boys universe. Then came Gen V, a spin-off set on a college campus where the next generation of supes is being trained, with a nefarious ulterior motive. Next up, Amazon will release Vought Rising in 2027. Vought Rising is a prequel exploring the origins of Vought through the lens of the What Clara Would Ve Wanted love story between Soldier Boy and Stormfront. And that's not all, Amazon is also developing an as-yet untitled Boys spin-off set in Mexico, which will look at this world from yet another different angle. The Boys franchise has a 10 out of 10 record so far. While it's easy to make fun of The Boys for becoming the very thing it was making fun of, it's been much more consistent than most of the other cinematic universes out there. Marvel and DC have been wildly hit and miss, but every show in The Boys franchise has been a banger so far. The Boys itself might have dropped off a bit in its last couple of seasons, but its spin-offs have been there to pick up the slack. Diabolical is a rare anthology show where every single episode is great, every single episode is a distinctive vision, with its own genre and its own animation style and its own angle on The Boys universe. Then, Gen V set the bar even higher. Gen V stood on its own 2 feet as a compelling teen drama. The visual comedy is like Animal House with superpowers, but the characters and their relationships are genuinely engaging, which made it so much more disappointing when they were all but erased from The Boys' final season.